I'm a 19-year-old female living at home, working a part-time job, doing some freelance work, and taking online courses in preparation for attending college next year. My sister, 25, had her first child 8 months ago. The father isn't involved and only pays child support. My mom is excited to have her first grandchild and constantly offers to look after the baby so my sister can feel at ease working full-time and have some time to relax afterward. The thing is, about 70% of the time, I'm the one looking after the baby. While I admit that I enjoy it and like spending time with him, I can't help but feel mad because they don't have any consideration for my time. Mom will drop the baby off while I'm in the middle of my lessons, saying I can always watch the recordings later or just ask someone what it was about. Or she'll leave him with me when I'm working on my freelance stuff because looking after the baby doesn't really require much. My breaking point happened last week when my mother and sister left the baby with me for a whole day because I mistakenly told them I didn't have to work and would be staying at home to catch up on some pending stuff and study. I told them both they were being irresponsible, and they called me a spoiled brat. That night, my grandma and other members of the extended family were calling and sending me messages about the importance of helping family and understanding that my sister doesn't have it easy being a single mom. I got mad and sent a message to the family group chat saying that they were right. Helping family is important, and we should all be supportive of my sister. I then proceeded to write a schedule in which all of us could take care of the baby. One aunt visits grandma on Mondays and Wednesday mornings, so she could babysit those days. The eldest cousin and her siblings are at their home on Friday afternoons, so they could babysit then, and so on. I left Saturday mornings and Tuesday evenings as my time to babysit. My sister and mom were very pleased with the arrangement. The other family members, not so much. When someone pointed out that my sister didn't get the baby for a whole day, discussions about her being an irresponsible mother started, with my mother trying to defend her. AITA for causing this? How come they expected me to be my sister's unpaid nanny, but then got offended when the same thing was being forced on them? I may be the AH because I caused this and don't regret it one bit. NTA. You aren't a spoiled brat, your sister is. She chose to bring a child into this world, thinking other people would parent him for her. The only person responsible for this baby is your sister. OP. I blame that on our mom. When my sister told us she was pregnant and that the father wouldn't be involved, our mother assured her that if she kept the baby, she would help her whenever she needed, as she's already retired and was excited to have her first grandchild. If your mom assured her that she would be the one to help whenever she needs it, why is she turning around and dumping the baby on you instead? Oop, I might have a theory on that. Way before my sister got pregnant, we, mom, sister, and I, were talking about the future, and the topic of marriage and kids came up. I was around 14 at the time and proclaimed that I would like to be child-free. Mom didn't take it too seriously at the time, kind of like, you'll change your mind when you grow up. I didn't. So I think she is, in part, doing this to convince me that babies and children aren't that bad, because sometimes when I was babysitting, she would go on about how I would be an amazing mother and how good I am with children. But I don't want to be a mother. I love being an aunt and was pretty excited about my nephew being born too, but the constant babysitting has pretty much drained me out. I might change my mind on having children in the future, through adoption or surrogacy, which I'm sure my mom wouldn't approve of either, but being pressured like this isn't helping. NTA. It's nice to help out every now and then when you can, but you have a life too. Your family shouldn't expect you to babysit and just be fine with it when you clearly have a busy schedule. And now that they have a taste of their own medicine, all of a sudden it's a problem. OP. I think most of the problem is that they don't consider what I do besides my part-time job, I tutor at a children's academy, to be worthy of being busy. I work as a freelance editor of audio and video, but they just see it as me being on my laptop just because. I also take Spanish courses 4 times a week, along with audio engineering stuff 3 times a week, both of which require me to do homework and, in the latter case, work on projects. But they still don't consider that a big deal, and I'm honestly too tired of explaining to them why both are important. 1 week later, okay, a lot of things happened. Honestly, I'm still not in the mood to provide a full update. The main points are, my sister did try to impose the babysitting schedule I made, and the family wasn't happy. Mom, sis, and I had a big discussion. Hurtful things were said on both ends, and I'm currently staying with my BFF and his GF. Total sweethearts, but not a feasible long-term arrangement, even though they've said I could stay with them as long as I need. The family is complaining non-stop, and I'm feeling guilty because technically, I'm the one who caused this by creating the schedule in the first place. Maybe I should have just sucked it up, and I do really feel sorry for my nephew. All the family usually gets together on Sundays, and this time, my grandma's eldest daughter, Mom's eldest sister, is coming from another state. This is kind of a big deal since she's Grandma's golden child in a good way and kind of like the leader of the family. I'm both hopeful and nervous. If anyone can solve this mess, it's her. But at the same time, I'm worried about her blaming me like everyone else. I'll provide a full update then. Also, sorry for not having the time to answer all the comments and PMs. Like I said, a lot of things happened, but here are some of the questions people asked. My relationship with mom and sis. It was pretty good before my sister got pregnant. We, sis and I, always knew that she was more favored by our mom because they had more common interests, while it was the same case for me and my dad. This wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Think of it more as if one of us wanted to visit a friend or ask for a specific favor, we knew which parent to ask. We would actually team up sometimes to convince them of something, me appealing to Dad and sis to Mom. Sadly, Dad passed away 5 years ago. He was an amazing father and we were absolutely heartbroken. But the one good thing that came out of it was that it helped us bond. Dad loved classical music and was really into it and programming. I would go to concerts with him, and he got me into gaming. After his passing, Mom began to buy tickets to classical concerts, and the three of us would go together as a way to remember him. We also went to watch the Super Mario movie because my dad would have loved to be there, even if sis and Mom knew little of the franchise. So things going this bad makes me pretty sad. My job. I work part-time at a kids' after-school academy. We tutor them in the subjects they find hard and help them do their homework and prepare for tests. My freelance job is video-audio editing for my BFF and his GF. Both are streamers / content creators. They know about my Reddit post, but asked me to leave out their personal details, so please don't ask for their accounts. I do 1 weekly video for her and 1 or 2 for him. Do I pay rent? No, I don't. Dad had a hard time with his family, and while my sis and I don't know the details, we're no contact with them. We kind of imagine what went down. Dad left the house to Mom and made her promise to make it a safe place for us, sis and me. They decided to accept us not paying rent as long as we covered our own expenses. Sis and I cover our groceries, cell phones, some services, and I pay part of the gas whenever they give me a ride because I don't have a car. For extended family. As I said, we're NC with Dad's family. Mom, 50 years old, is the third of 4 siblings. Eldest aunt, Rose. Eldest uncle, Mario, deceased father of the cousins I mentioned in my first post. And youngest uncle, John, 39 years old, single. Grandma is currently 77 years old, my nephew's dad. He and my sister were together for about 2 years when she found out she was pregnant and wished to keep the baby. The relationship ended as he is child-free. A paternity test was conducted after my nephew was born, and he was confirmed as the father. His family tried to get my sister to sign her rights over to them, but she refused, and so far, they haven't contacted us further. He does pay child support. So I just had to come back here and let you know how things are going. After all, it's partly thanks to the support I received here that I finally found the courage to face my family. Special thanks to the people who said, if family is so important, why aren't they helping your mom and sister like they said you should help, because that really made me realize that I had done nothing wrong. Let's get into it. The meeting. Like I said before, every Sunday, the family meets at Grandma's place for lunch. Aunt Rose and Uncle Mario arrived there the day before and were surprised to find I wasn't there. Some relatives weren't aware of what was happening, and I told them when we met for lunch. Some were indifferent to the situation but sympathetic to my case. Aunt Rose was really angry when she heard what my sister, Mom, and the others were doing and started chewing them out. The meeting turned into a family intervention, with the whole situation being laid bare. By the end of it, Aunt Rose made them promise that they wouldn't drop the baby on me unless I was absolutely okay with it. I knew this was the best I could ask for. The next day, I returned home, and my mom apologized for how she had treated me. I was surprised because, honestly, Mom doesn't apologize often. I accepted her apology, and we started talking again. My sister was still a bit salty at first, but once we talked, she admitted that she wasn't coping well with everything, and apologized too. Where we are now. Things are much better now. Mom and Sis are finally taking care of the baby on their own, although they still ask for my help occasionally. The difference is that now they respect my time and ask if I'm available instead of just dropping him on me. We've been able to bond more now that the situation isn't so tense, and I've been able to focus on my work and studies. My future plans. I'm still planning on going to college next year, and I'm saving up to move out when the time comes. I'm doing pretty well with my freelance job and even got some new clients, so I'm optimistic about the future. In conclusion, I think we're finally on the right track as a family. This whole ordeal taught me to stand up for myself and communicate better with my family. I'm not just their baby sister anymore. I'm my own person, and I think they finally realize that. I'm grateful for all the support I received here, and I wish the best for all of you. Thank you for listening to my story.